To start off, my name is Laura Bennett and my student ID number is 18046205. So, as a brief introduction, I would like to determine the definitions of the topic at hand, the topic being coeducation versus single-sex education in Australia. Coeducation refers to the education of pupils of both sexes in the same school, class, or learning environment. Single-sex refers to the education of pupils as they are separated into their separate biological sex categories, male and female. This education issue has existed from the beginning of education, and today parents have had to make the decision of whether to send their child to a co-ed school or a single-sex school. The following is an outline of the issues surrounding this and a new approach that promotes activism and agency. Although Yalkin-Kaya suggests that students from single-sex schools are more academically oriented, there is no such consistent data that shows greater success from single-sex education. The conversation notes no matter the difference between that of single-sex or co-education schools, academic success is reliant on good teachers. Single-sex education has been seen to promote female students as more vocal and involved in classes, especially in historically gendered subjects like maths and science, traditionally for males. Happy Being Me discusses the concerns of body image and how these concerns are now so frequently raised in the media in relation to both boys and girls. Students, both male and female, feel comfortable exploring body image issues in coeducational classes as it is viewed as a shared problem. The world we live in today is extremely gendered. From clothing to the toy aisle to the institution of sport, it is present within our education system. Sparhagen highlights the anticipated welcome of coeducation by feminist groups as it meant equal access to the whole curriculum for all students. Yalkin-Kaya also notes that coeducation high schools and classrooms provide more of a natural social environment that prepares these adolescents for society that is full of men and women who interact with each other on a day-to-day basis, suggesting that single-sex education lacks the reality of the world outside of school. Wiskin, though an old source, viewed single-sex education as dangerous, as it in some way promoted students of the single-sex classes to get distracted by the appeal of the opposite sex. By separating males and females, a do-not-look-on-the-other-side mentality may be present. Progressing out of school may be difficult for individuals that have been educated in single-sex schools and classrooms, the process that has been seen to be already difficult without the added pressure of interaction with another sex. The current policies in Australia around single-sex and co-education are quite limited. Although altogether, the choice of co-education or single-sex is up to demographic of certain areas, the needs of that demographic, and the choice of the owners or principals of the school, but ultimately up to the parents of the children. Single-sex schools do have designated enrolment areas, and the policies that surround this enrolment are quite different to co-educational schools. Single-sex schools are more academically selective or specialist and require a selection process. The boundaries of single-sex schools and co-educational schools overlap. Colesall outlines that within the public system in New South Wales, 356 schools are co-educational, 25 of which are for all girls and 21 are for all boys. In the private system, single-sex schools in New South Wales have declined by 20% in the last 2 decades as people move towards co-education. Informally, Happy Being Me suggests that co-educational classes are typically the easiest for teachers to organise, so they gravitate towards those schools. Moving forward, it is obvious to see the aforementioned arguments both for and against co-education and single-sex education. I will outline them briefly again. Co-education offers the opportunity for students to explore and prepare for the true interactions of society, a creative and collaborative space where opinions of both sexes are explored and discussed. On the other hand, co-education can be seen as being extremely distractive for students during times of growth and puberty. Co-education classes can also be seen as limiting the potential of students who don't feel comfortable sharing in a class of mixed sexes. For single-sex schools and classrooms, the opposition lies in the composition of society. How can students from single-sex schools be able to transition smoothly into the real world? Within single-sex education, they may lack the proper skills given to them by socialization to engage with the opposite sex. Single-sex education can also be seen as very beneficial as it gives students an opportunity to explore their academic potential without the fear of judgment. Lastly, another implication that may occur from single-sex schooling is the perpetuation of gender norms and stereotypes. Coeducation, in my opinion, gives children the opportunity to explore themselves outside the one-track bounds of single-sex education. By interacting with the opposite sex in a somewhat controlled environment, students may move away from traditional gender norms because they have access to a wide variety of others. Among the array of advantages and disadvantages that both coeducation and single-sex education offer, it may be time to leave the choice of education in the hands of the student. After a certain age, maybe once they have completed primary school, maybe before or maybe after, it may be effective for the student to choose their own path of education. By presenting all the facts and making it a choice for the student, we offer them agency to make an active choice for their own future. This is just my reference list. Thank you.